Switching gears, I'd love to talk about areas where you have an edge or a superpower. And I know superpower may feel like a loaded term, but you are an award-winning designer. You've done a lot of amazing work. When you think about what might be your superpowers, what comes to mind and how does that show up in your life for your work day to day?
You've asked this question many times. What is your superpower?
It's a great question. And I mean, to be super honest, maybe the most striking answer is simply because, and I've heard several guests have basically paraphrased, have said this to me, and so I'm paraphrasing it for a bit, but have said that it's really hard to try to identify your own superpowers. So they just lean on what other people have told them. And something I've heard a lot from other people, it's typically when I'm working with a founder of a startup or a designer on a design team, is I can, in a really short amount of time, kind of grasp the big picture and the big idea and can start to make connections and to start to be helpful in terms of helping them think about that idea. And so I would say that's something I'm uniquely good at. And the only counterpoint there is I think a lot of people struggle with just understanding an idea, and you always have to understand an idea to be able to engage. So I think just by a lot of design work, a lot of trying to understand complex things to make sense of them, I happen to be good at that.
Wow, that's cool. I'm glad you answered that. Thank you for sharing. I like that you also said people often say, well, I can understand it through other people's comments about me. In my case, I don't feel that way. I feel like I am really good at a ton of stuff. And, I'm going to be upfront with you. Why? Is because we're going to get serious here. I was raised by a single woman, my mother, and she passed away when I was 13. And I had no cheerleader after that. And so I had to become my own cheerleader. And it was a tough time, but it taught me a lot about being confident, about being, if I don't say it, no one is at this point. There was no one to bring home a test to. There was no one to win an award and show to. So I do have a bunch of unique skills. One of my personal favorites is the ability to apply what I learned. And I know it sounds silly when you think about it, but I'll read a book and I can remember everything that I read in the book, and then I can apply it. And I have no problem taking a book and making, $500,000 out of it just by the ideas. And they're very clear to me, and I immediately see the grand picture, a lot of like what you said. So the conversion of knowledge into action is something that I don't see very often. And I think that's one of my specific abilities. The other one is the ability not to take anything seriously. Okay, I for a point in my life, I had to sleep out of my car. Okay, and that's totally fine. But man, does that give perspective? Nothing really matters as much as having a bed to sleep in and food to eat and someone to come home to. And so what that has done for me is I can take a ton of what I wouldn't call risks and other people would, because I don't see it as risky. I know what rock bottom really is, and it's not what most people think it is. And that has given me an edge, a big one.